But we played this video on the New Year's Eve show a year and a half ago. And you had a former spook from the CIA on MSNBC. And she said, you're going to see in the next year or two a black swan event. Now, a black swan event is something that shifts the direction of society. Something like Archduke Ferdinand getting shot, something like Pearl Harbor, 9/11, COVID. That would be an example of a black swan event. Well, this was our black swan event right here in 2025. But the interesting thing here is I would argue that the murder itself is not the actual black swan event. The very public celebration of the murder is the black swan event. Because this is the thing, there's always been assassinations, right? There's MLK, JFK, RFK, all people that were bigger than Charlie Kirk was at their respected times. However, what's different about this particular assassination is it's the first time that it's been made clear to 40% of the country, whether it be through social media or just people's general reactions out in the wild, that if they were to be murdered for their political beliefs, their family members, their friends, their neighbors, and their coworkers would rejoice in that. Like, this is the thing, guys. Charlie Kirk is not going to see your Facebook post where you're celebrating that he got shot in the neck because you disagree with him on abortion, but the guy you go to church with will. Charlie Kirk is not going to hear you at the family dinner talking about how he had it coming because he's a Republican and all Republicans are Nazis. But your cousin who voted for Donald Trump because she saw a wild increase in inflation under Joe Biden and had never been in a worse position economically than she was over the last 4 years, whether it had anything to do with Biden or not, is going to hear you talking about that. And when you dehumanize people right to their faces because they think differently than you, I mean, think about the logic here. If they're celebrating Charlie Kirk getting killed, if they're justifying that Charlie Kirk's ideology warranted him to get shot, they're going to justify you if you have similar beliefs to Charlie Kirk. And there's no putting that cat back in the bag. We talked on the show earlier last week about how when a husband and a wife get into a drunken argument and the wife just gets emotional and says, I wish I would have married my college boyfriend. I never loved you. Whether that's true or not, whether she meant it or not, irrelevant. It's been said. There's no taking it back. And you can either decide to pick up the pieces and fix the marriage, or you can get divorced. Both would be entirely reasonable. But forever, it's going to be stained that way. Now, the United States, we can either decide to break up or we can decide to try to pick the pieces up in the marriage. But the problem now is it gets really, really difficult to fix the problems in the marriage when you know the other partner kind of wants you to die.